Field over here is where the Battle of Leetown took place against the Federalists and the Confederate. And those are original fences out there. Are these cannons the real cannons?
Yes.
They're the real cannons. And two of the Confederate leaders, two Confederate generals, General Ben McCulloch and James McIntosh, were killed near the field's north boundary. Now, I can't tell you what's north, what's east, what's south, what's west, but then again, you see the fence back there. That is the original fencing. And this is when they were fighting to keep Missouri in the United States. And the Confederates were trying to take it. This is also, which I didn't share, but where the Native Americans walked through the Trail of Tears. So, anyway, this is pretty interesting. This out here is all battlefield. Oh, look at, there's more canyons out there. For some reason, it won't let me enlarge.
Okay, there's just right there. Turn off.
Just blows my mind to think that the army, both sides, were fighting right here. I mean, it's just crazy to think about that. Wow. And these are all the original cannons.
Original cannons, original fence.
Yep. Okay, here comes site number 5. 5 or 6. 5. Armies collide. Here, 2 Confederate regiments of Cherokee, about 1,000 men, routed 2 companies of U.S. cavalry. Federal cannon fire eventually forced them to take cover in the woods. Pea Ridge was the only major Civil War battle in which Native American troops participated. Let's look at this fence, how old it is. What was their purpose in putting up the fences? Because they surely weren't going to keep anybody out.
Well, no, the fences divided the different farmers and the different plantations.
Oh, that's right, because this was farmland. And
Farmland.
They took over it, that's right.
But the reason that they didn't have barbed wire back then, well, they did have some wire, but they did it cross fencing because it made it harder for people to jump it.
Oh.
And that's how they built it. They put logs on top of logs. It's
Okay. Wow. Okay, so what this says is the Boston Mountains are usually visible on the horizon about 30 miles to the south. I don't know which north, south, east, or west, so I don't know. There over 16,000 Confederates met. They began marching north to Missouri, but Federal troops blocked their way. I mean, there's out there, way out there, battlefield. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy to think that all that took place once upon a time. And there are some spots where we could actually walk if we wanted to and see remnants of where people lived, but it's getting too late to do that. So we're just gonna keep doing the driving tour. My map says that's actually the west overlook, and when we go around, we're gonna go to the east overlook. So we'll be there, I think, next.
Backseat drivers, you guys telling me how to drive?
Yes, Oscar's telling me how to drive now.
Okay. I'll speed it up.
We're currently walking about a quarter of a mile to the east overlook because you have to walk to it. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so this is looking at it from the east side. And that was where a huge battle took place. So there's stuff right here.
Leetown.
Hard fighting near Leetown. Okay. You can't tell the depth from up here on my camera, but that is eerie scary. It was the grandest thing I ever saw. Carr's Division, 1,500 men. Davis Division, 200 men. Okay, so that's out there. Ostrich Division, 300 men. Ostrich Division, 2,500 men. 2,000 Union men in battle.
Come on, lift up.
Diary of Samuel Harrington, Sergeant 8th Indiana Infantry, Davis Division. Oh, that is something, because you could literally see everything from there. Night moves. From this overlook, you can see the greatest challenge facing General Samuel Curtis. Curtis was with the Federal Army, as two armies grappled on Pea Ridge how to turn the 10,500 men in the Union Army from facing south to facing north, while keeping his supply wagons from being captured. After night fell, Federal divisions that had fought in Leetown had to be brought together with the battered defenders astride the Telegraph Road you see below. Cold and hungry Union men who had marched most of the night had to be fed and issued fresh ammunition. Thousands of man horses, hundreds of wagons, and dozens of canyons jostled along narrow country roads in the dark. Union officers took little comfort in knowing that the Confederates faced the same demanding tasks that winter night. Both armies had to reorganize and resupply to be able to fight again. So Carr's Division was over there, which is Telegraph Road.
No, Oscar, no, get away from there.
Somewhere over there is Telegraph Road. Okay, so Federal wagon supplies were back there. I don't know if you can tell. Davis's division was over there, and Leestown was over there. We got one more. The area finale on Rudrick Field. The first day's fighting ended at sunset on the large open field you see in the distance below. The half of the Confederate army that had circled completely around Big Mountain, where you now stand, had fought hard all day to force their way along the long mountain hollow that leads to Elkhorn Tavern. Elkhorn Tavern is our next stop. As the late winter sunlight faded, Union troops pulled back from Elkhorn Tavern and prepared for a last-ditch defense along the tree line that bordered Benjamin Rudrick's cornfield below. Federal gunners set their cannon wheel hubs to wheel hubs and waited for the final massive Confederate assault. The white-clad soldiers of the Missouri State Guard who made the last charge were hungry and worn out by the 3-day, 60-mile march they had made from the Boston Mountains. Desperate men on both sides knew what they could do in those last 15 minutes of light might determine victory or defeat. So, again, looking out at all of that.
Nope. Let's go.
The Elkhorn Tavern is going to be over there. And then Telegraph Road is over there, which you can see Telegraph Road, I think. And, I mean, it's crazy to think that this was somebody's property at one time.
Yeah.
And that they had cornfields and everything.